Thank you. And so, when I have been just going through all of this stuff and I'm just making these decisions, I feel anxiety lifting from me, you guys. Like, I just feel it leaving my body because it's things that have been lingering in my life, in my brain, in my mind for way too long. And so I think with bringing in the CBD to help me calm myself and help remain calm, I've been able to make decisions like yesterday without it ruining my day. Like, I made the decision, I messaged everybody, I kind of threw like this little mini pity party in my heart for a second, but it was more just like mourning, right? Like, I was just like mourning the fact that I had to like actually cancel something, and it was like the last thing I was holding on to for the year. But once I did it and once it was gone, and I was like, I'm okay with it. So I don't know, like, it's a kind of a combination of everything. And I just want to kind of like share it with you guys as I'm experiencing it and as I'm going through it. The schedule has been helping. Okay. Like, having specific things that I come and do and focus on every single day. I think hitting that workout early has been helping. I think making decisions and getting things out of my way that I know are causing me anxiety, such as, when I had to remove Karen from our team or having to cancel the retreat. Like, I've had to make some freaking big, and these are just business decisions. I've had to make some life decisions just like these things here at my house as well. And so I've had to make some really, really big decisions lately. But with that, I have felt a lift. I have felt like I can breathe. I have space to breathe, even though they're hard decisions and they're things like I've been avoiding and not wanting to do. It's coming full circle, and I'm feeling that sense of like, wow, now that I got those out of my head, now I can focus on other things that matter in the future. So just kind of something interesting that I thought I would share with you guys, and I will keep you guys updated on how the schedule goes and maybe how the CBD water or, droplets go as well, and to see if they continue to benefit me. So with that, I know today is music day, but if you've been on the Chakra Talk the past 2 days, you know that we didn't get a chance to talk to Christen about channeling moon energy, which can be super fun. And so she's got some content for us to kind of go over, and she's going to let us know some fun stuff that we can do to maybe try something a little different as well. So I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to pass it over to Christen for a little bit, and we'll see what she's got for us today.
Good morning, guys. All right, so biggest thing about moon energy that I want to talk about first is why people like to channel it. And that is because the moon directly affects the ocean tides, the tides in the water. Well, our bodies are made up of adult bodies, 60% water. So why wouldn't the moon affect our bodies as well? So channeling the moon's energy through water, and one of the things that you want to do when you're doing that is make sure that you have clear jars. And one of the ways you can fit it into chakras is maybe getting glass jars that are colored based on the chakras that you need to be working on, or finding stones or crystals, or even flower petals to put around that jar while it's channeling. There are herbs and petals and flowers as well that can go inside of the water to change the flavor of it. So I channeled new moon energy. I was sharing that with Jenny yesterday. And I put dried lavender in it. And then I made like a green lemonade tea with it. And I'll drink it all day, and I'll give it to Annie to drink too. And the lavender is relaxing, and the green tea provides a lot of energy, plus the energy from the moon. So it's helping me keep a more even charge, relaxed, but still energized, so I'm not feeling low. And things that you can do with moon water before I even get into how you should actually prepare it before are, you can add it to beverages. You can add it to your bath water. You can use it as plant fuel, so gardening. You can put it in perfumes. You can actually freeze it with ice cubes and herbs, or anything to put in your food or in your water cups. You know, you could literally freeze it with cucumbers and add that to your water later. You could use it for anointing. You could add it to your washing machine if you feel like your clothes are bothering you or you want to feel more confident in them. You can literally do anything. Add it to your cleaning mixture to clean out bad energies in your home. You can add it to your Energize. You could use it for your Energize in the morning. You could add it to your shakes. You can add it to your pet's water if you are, you know, feeling like your pets need extra energy, or you feel like they're having a hard time, or they just need protection health-wise. You can also use stones and things like that to help energize them and protect them. You can also add it to like rose water and make a face mist. Refresh yourself randomly when you're taking your 5-minute break throughout the day or putting on your makeup. You can put it in your pool or put it in your spa. You can literally use it for mop water and mop away bad energy out of your house. If you feel like your house needs to be cleansed, there's so many things that you can do with it. You can add it with peppermint oil and wipe down your doors and windows. It wards off bad energies as well as helps you keep insects out. So multiple using. You could put it on your third eye while you're doing meditation and working on your chakras. There's so many things that you can do with it. So one of the ways that, you need to wait, please, Kay. One of the ways that I really like to do it, here, let me grab a mason jar. I'm sorry, I should have had that ready. So for the moon to really, I mean, people ask a lot of times too, if you need to have, you know, if there's cloud coverage or anything like that. Well, that doesn't affect the tides of the sea. The moon is still out. So it doesn't need to be in complete view. So don't be weary of clouds or anything like that. And the other thing people do is they say, oh, do I need to put saran wrap over it? No, just flip your jar. Have the mason jar over. So that way it can have the opportunity to receive full. And then also you can set things. So the other thing that I like to do, if you're going to put any herbs or plants out around it, if you have something that is glass or reflective underneath, so even if you don't have like a mirror or something, you can also use a piece of cardboard with foil underneath, and then it reflects everything around it up. So that's one of the ways that you can do that. So you would fill this all the way with water to the top, however many you want, whatever size you want, and whatever color you want. I, of course, prefer glass because there's not as many chemicals. Yes, you're right. So you can do that. And the other thing that I do, well, before I go out and put this out there, I channel, you know, my, hey, come be quiet, okay? I channel my intentions. So I quote it close to my heart, and I really channel my intentions of what I want and what I'm doing for this. Can you please take this to your bedroom and play with that, or to mommy's room and play with that? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And so in doing that, there are, of course, different moon phases, and during the different moon phases, it's going to give off, you know, different intentions for you. So I do have some pictures that I'll post in the group that I shared. So, you know, the new moon is bringing new beginnings and kind of starting over. There's all kinds of different things you can use for it. Planting seeds, unlimited responsibility, things that you want to start. So the wanting crescents, so if we're going from new moon down, can start with surrender and be restorative, but they can also be somewhat overwhelming. So you want to work on your intuition during that point in composition. If you want to go to a full moon, it's blessings and peak energy, blossoming, celebrating joy and gratitude, really working on celebrating other people and not just yourself. So I will post that, but there's so many different things for channeling that moon energy. And then, like I said, you literally take that water and you can put it into pretty much every aspect of your life. And that's if you want to cook with it, if you want to take it on a run because you feel like you need it. It's there to support you pretty much however you want to. It's really using moon energy and harnessing it is really your own. You want to make it something that's your own practice. You want to channel it for you, what is working for you. Just make sure that you're really putting your intentions into it. So I tend to sit and meditate with my jar before I put it out for about 30 minutes. And that's just me personally. My sister will do like 5 minutes and she's good with that. And that's fine. It's really what works for you and how much time you have. But it's all intentional. So you want to really, you know, I even write down my intentions and fold it up. And okay, so Tennille, you can get the water wherever you want to. Currently, right now in Tampa, they've changed our water system. So they went back to chlorinated as Like literally our tap water is chlorinated. It smells like a pool water when we shower. It's horrible. But that's in the 80s, that's how they cleaned their water system. So that's how they're doing it. So everything in my life is filtered water, bottled water right now. But literally it can be tap water. It can be rainwater that you've collected, whatever you want. It depends on what you're using it for. You know what I mean? So if you're just going to be cleaning with it, then this or that. If you want more purified or more filtered water for a certain reason because you're using it for a certain reason. So it's really, the water's up to you, completely up to you. And if you don't have glass, you can use bottled water. So it's truly preference. And so in doing that, other things that you want to pay attention to when you're channeling the moon's energy are things like eclipses and meteor showers. Those things I prefer not to channel. They're anomalies, if you will, and not normal in our normal world. So if you look at those things, they will bring out darker things, shadow life, if you will. So be careful channeling those types of energies, be really aware of those. And then also pay attention to, you know, you can do a ton of research, and I can also pull up more information on the several different full moons that we have. So strawberry moons bring different things throughout, you know, the cycles of the world. So each one of those full moons will bring you different comforts and different charges depending on what works for you. But then again, it's, you know, channeling moon energy is super spiritual. So it's truly what works for you. You need to be patient. Yes, you can play with those. Sorry, my sister sent me my sewing machine, and there's a bunch of fabric, and there's llama fabric, and she's real excited about it. So, but yeah, so the other thing outside of channeling moon energy is you can actually solarize your water on a regular basis as well. The sun charges everything. It oxidizes water and food and everything else as well. So you can also solarize your water. 5 to 8 hours in the sun, cloud coverage is also fine. It's one of those things, but you want to drink that water within 24 hours because it's getting heated up. So it can grow bacteria. So heat it or use it. If you're cleaning with it, that's different, but don't put that in the fridge and save it for later. Things that solarizing your water, or sun enlightenment as people call it, it's not as spiritual. However, drinking that water can actually help eliminate things like bacteria in your body if you drink it within that time span. Viral and bacterial and fungal infections, it actually does help. I have had a lot of luck with it. Yes, yeah, your llama fabric, with my Crohn's. So when I'm really hurting, I will solarize water and channel a lot of moon water in general, just to help my body have some of that extra energy. One thing I didn't say about moon water is when you're putting it out, you want to make sure that the sun is all the way down, full sunset, and then you want to get it before sunrise, because once that sun touches it, it kind of disperses that energy, honestly, just like the tides change immediately. So you do want to get that and collect it. And then the first thing that I do after I charge moon water and pick it up in the morning, I set my alarm early, I drink a sip of it, and then I put it up and decide what I want to do with it. And I usually will do 5 or 6 of these jars just so it can go different places, or I'll do different things with it. Like I had the lavender, and I made that lavender green tea lemonade. And then I have one that is simply just for cleaning my house. And I will go through today, and literally all the doors and windows in my house will get wiped down with the peppermint oil and that moon water, just because it's something that I do. I started with, it's new moon water, so it's new beginnings and good intentions. So I'm going to start brand new, and I've had a bunch of anxiety, so I need to ward off all of that crap that I don't want in my house. And I grow blue sage on my patio, and I put that in a jar of water as well, and that will help also. You know, people smudge. Well, you can use it to charge your moon water as well and do the same thing. And I will put that in my old oil diffuser, so it'll literally diffuse all day long. I'll put a cup of it in with the rest of the water, and that way it's constantly going. Does anybody have questions about anything so far?
I can't wait to try this. Fancy for the evening, just so maybe I can try it tonight.
And that's the nice part, is that, like, yes, honey, you can put it on if you want.
I don't want to.
Okay. But you can literally, you can channel the moon whenever you want to. And I mean, that's just honestly the truth. It's just depending on your intentions and what you want. And you don't even have to follow the intentions. You can create your own, you know what I mean? That is the luxury of, you know, how the moon works, is it's energy, and it's untapped energy all of the time. There are guidelines that everybody has for everything, but who says you have to follow it anyways?
So you're saying it should be on a new moon or a full moon, ideally, for like best charge experience?
So if you have, so I would say if you have like brand new things that are coming about and you really have serious intentions for new beginnings for something, your new moon is where you always want to be. And your full moon, if you are really struggling with general energy, with general happiness, with general anxiety, that's going to be your full moon charge. You can put it on, but you need to go play over there, please. Okay, thank you. And that new moon really rejuvenates and is more like internal healing. And the full moon is really like, let's jumpstart this all over again. You got this. Let's keep going. So, but there's the in-between points, you know what I mean? Literally, and I'll post them for you where it goes through wanting and waxing and all the way through. So there's intentions that are preset, if you will, for every phase of the moon, every phase. There's guidelines or ideas that you can run off of. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I woke up and I have these ideas and I'm looking at I did a chakra test today to see where I'm at. I need to get this needs to be aligned. I've been okay, right? Me too. I've been working on this. I've been working on this. You know, what am I going to do with these? You can literally go and reference that chart and go, okay, this is what I really need to work on. And then Jenny has talked about CoStar before. I've been using CoStar for years. I literally live my day-to-day life by that thing. It helps me so much just to stay in tune with me and work with her. Yes, you can. So it's just one of those things. But literally, how you choose to use it is truly up to you. I mean, it's really just a spiritual path for each person. And if you have crystals and you're using them, really pay attention to which crystals you are using and do some research on them individually as actual stones, like do actual research on like your geology, because some of those stones will dissolve or get ruined in water. So you need to put them on the outside and not put them on the inside. I learned that the hard way after I spent a lot of money. So I woke up and was like, oh no, I probably can't even drink that anymore. Like it's gonna be supercharged. It's all the way dissolved. Yes, you can play with it. Go over there. So be cautious of that as well. I will help you in a minute. And you know, it's one of those things. So like I have some stones that are jewelry that I will lay out and charge for, you know, literally, you know, 4 times a month, just because it helps me through guidance. And that may be, you know, witchy woo for people, and it's truly a preference of what you choose to believe and have faith in. And if you want things to work that way, if you just like, you know, we've watched a lot of videos on, if you put it out in the universe, it'll come back to you. And, you know, if you speak it into existence, it will be. It's one of those things. So it's not, this is my religion. It's just things to help guide you through your own spiritual journey. And that doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to put it into any context except for it's helping me through what I need to get through. No, you're fine. Please go over there. And then one of the things that I definitely suggest is to play with herbs in your water. Like, they can be ground kitchen herbs. You don't have to, I mean, literally they don't have to do it. Put it in a bowl and put it next to, you know, do research on some of the herbs that we put in our bodies. Bay leaves and some basils are super important for spirituality and just channeling energy as well. And so it helps that just charge that moon water in different ways. And just check it out. Try it one night. Flip a jar over, fill it up with whatever kind of water you want, and sit with it. Write down your intentions. I literally will set a fold of a piece of paper and set it right underneath. That way they're there. That way when I pull that water up and take it for a sip, that's what I'm reading. I can meditate on it and really visualize it as soon as I wake up, and then I can go, okay, boom. And that's why I take that first drink of water. It starts my day differently, and I feel differently about it. And so I've been having a lot of what I call, you know, random out of the blue anxiety. And it's not things I can pinpoint and pick and choose. Like, I don't know where it comes from and I don't know what's making me feel that way, but it's there and it's annoying and I hate it. But the way I choose to start my day will affect the way that not only I parent, but I feel about myself and what I am actually able to accomplish and get done at the best of my ability. That moon water helps me. And whether it's actually the moon water itself or the way that it's changing my mind mentally, you have an option to, you know what I mean, to look at one way or the other. But that's really what I wanted to share on the moon water. I have a ton more information if you want things that are like really guided spiritually. You're in, with these intentions, you should use these stones and these flowers and these herbs. So I have a lot of that stuff. I've been having a hard time going through all of my journals and grimoires, if you will, because I am the person that just word vomits things on paper. And so I have like 30 journals filled with recipes and herbal remedies and everything. And I really need to figure out a way to organize that crap. But thank you guys for letting me share today.
Dude, I love it. I'm like mad the new moon was like 2 days ago, because I wish we would have done this like Monday, so we could have maybe like collectively all done like a moon water experience. But what we can do is look to the future, right? Like, so when can we get something going? Like maybe we can do a group little experiment, or I just always think like once my mind is open to something new, I'm very open to trying new things. And I think a lot of us are, really. I think when you kind of come in here and you end up coaching, like there's something that's drawn, like I specifically draw people that are into new things, or that are into trying new things. Or if you're not, once you get into this group, you become a person of trying new things. I think that like maybe in my past, I was the person when I was like 20 something, I would be like, oh, I can tell you exactly what I did at every single restaurant, because I ordered the same thing at every single restaurant, right? Like I was like, oh, if I went to Applebee's, this is what I'm getting. If I was going to so-and-so, this is what I was getting, because I was very much a creature of habit. And, but over time, I think like just getting into like my 30s more, like that was like more my early 20s. Now that I'm more into my 30s, it's like I'm actually all about trying new things. I'm all about, hey, let's try that. Let's start something new. Let me try that new food. Let me order something I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm kind of more on that. Let me guess. You beat the level?
Yes.
I got all kinds of two for you guys.
Hey, Christen. What do you know about moonstones? Because you're talking about the stones and stuff, and I have a moonstone ring, and I don't remember at the moment, and I don't know where my paperwork is. What can you like pick out for your head for a moonstone?
My sister's wedding rings are moonstones. Like her wedding rings and engagement rings are moonstones. I'm not a diamond person. Nobody in my family, because we believe in channeling energy. Diamonds don't actually channel very much energy. It's just really pretty for floor. They're strong. Diamonds are strong. Moonstones. So what people say moonstones are able to do is not only constantly channel the moon's energy, whether it's present or not. So the moon is always present, obviously, but how much it's showing and actually putting down on you is different. However, when you wear a moonstone and you're keeping a moonstone on you, you're constantly channeling, because it constantly has the connection. So you are constantly channeling that energy if you are wearing it on a regular basis. You should wear it.
I can't wear it on a regular basis. No. I can't wear it for very long at all. It's like, I can't. Too much. Yeah, I can't do it.
I would start, so it's very true. So my sister,
I'm a water sign. I'm a water sign. I can't.
So it's overwhelming. Okay. Yeah, so that makes sense. My sister's a Gemini, so she can wear it like, I mean, literally, does not, if she feels weird, she takes it off. Like she feels naked. And that's not just because it's her wedding ring. Like my grandmother, that was my grandmother's as well, with opals and moonstones. So yeah, it's an overwhelming charge because it's constantly channeling. That's why.
That explains it. Thank you.
Ooh, so much to learn, right? I'm telling you guys, once you start learning things, then you kind of start learning things and learning things and learning things. And I just think you have to just keep an open mind here, right? Like you just have to be willing to say, okay, this is something I don't know anything about, but is it possible for me to learn, right? Is it possible for me to try it? Is it possible for me to be open to a new experience, and to be open to say, okay, I may feel silly at the first time I drink my moon water, right? I may kind of giggle a little bit, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, you might, in that initial, if you've never done anything like this and it's super new to you, that initial time that you try it, you might kind of giggle a little bit, right? Or you just be like, am I really doing this? But I want you to take a moment and say, you know what? I'm going to give this an honest try. If I'm willing to put all my herbs in the water and set it outside, and that next morning I'm going to grab the water and I'm going to take a drink of it, I'm going to be open to its possibilities. I'm going to be open to saying, maybe this will work. Maybe this is what I've been missing, is a little bit of moon energy in my life and a little bit of faith, a little bit of maybe it works, you know? But I know for sure if you go into it saying, this is stupid, I can't believe I'm even trying this. Why would I even do this? This sounds so silly. If you say things like that, I can guarantee not going to work.
I want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Based on what you're saying and talking about too, like I got, growing up as a kid, we got a lot of grief because of what people knew, what my family believed in, and people were very against it. So I want to say something about magic, and magic happens in faith. It's a mindset. Magic is a mindset. It's choosing to change your mindset based on the rituals and the practices that you're choosing to do. So channeling the moon energy, it's not magic. We call it magic, but it's truly changing your mindset and believing in tangible things. And that's your body is 60% water, and the moon changes the tides, and that's real life. That is science. It happens every single day. And so that's magic, and it's truly just believing in something.
I love that. Like, what if you just believed, you know what, when I drink my moon water, I feel energetic. And I mean, you guys can't deny also, when we went through that full moon, the last like time, like we were all like, ooh, must be this full moon, right? Like you kind of were like, oh, okay, I'm feeling it. And then not even gonna lie, like to think of like the last couple days, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's the CBD water. Then I'm like, maybe it's the new moon. Maybe it's actually the new moon making me feel lighter, making me feel more open and feeling like a new beginning right now because it's a new moon. And so these decisions are coming easier to me right now. And so it's just be open to it. Be open to it. And it can be really easy to shut it down, right? Because it's maybe something you don't know a lot about. And I think that's what happens a lot of times is whenever somebody wants to say like that's stupid or there's no way that can happen, even in anything in life, right? It doesn't even have to be with like woohoo shit. Like it can be like understanding why people are gay. When somebody doesn't understand those things, the first thing they do is say it's stupid, there's no possibility, there's no way. But what if they said, well, what if I learned more about it? Because I bet and guarantee the moment you learn more about it, you're going to go, well, that makes sense. Well, my body's water and the moon is always there. And if I know the tides are something real, how can I deny that maybe my body is also affected by that? How can you deny that?
Include the card you pulled for me yesterday and how perfect it was for what we talked about. About it. I mean, it literally matched perfectly.
It really did. So I pulled her tarot card yesterday and I pulled the Wave of Power. And which like the Wave of Power is exactly what it sounds like. It's like you have an intense energy, an intense pull in a certain direction, and you feel that energy yanking you. Ooh, maybe instead of music. You guys interested in pulling tarot cards? I'll pull your cards if you want to. If you guys are interested in doing that. Because we got like a smaller group today, so that might be good. And just kind of play along with also like what we're already doing. But I think you have to be open to it, right? Like that's the bottom line. Be willing to learn, be willing to be try it out, and several times as well, right? Because that first time you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna try it. And so maybe you drink it and you're like, I don't know if it worked or not, right? But then the next new moon comes around, you're like, I'm gonna try that again. And then the next moon comes around and you're gonna go, I'm gonna try that again. I'm gonna try it again and again and again.
if you're worried about intentions and writing them down too, focus on the affirmations that you've been choosing based on what you're working on. If you're working on chakras, otherwise just focus on, I mean, for me, I pull a daily affirmation for myself every single day because it's something I have to focus on. I write it down a bunch of places, but you can use that too. You don't have to write like a big long paragraph about your intentions. It can be difficult, especially at first.
Yeah. And I think definitely journaling can help a lot because you might not realize patterns until you're on the 6th full moon or new moon, and then you go, oh my gosh, look at this. I didn't even realize every other moon I have been anxious, but then and then everyone in between I've actually been depressed. Like I didn't notice that all of these little things were kind of lining up until I was looking at my moon journaling, right? And so I think, and that goes the same for you guys, even just like when you're eating, like think of like your nutrition. Maybe you didn't even realize that you were lactose intolerant or you didn't start recognizing those signs until all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I made stuffed chicken and cheese on last Thursday, and then I made macaroni and cheese today, and it seems like every Friday, all of a sudden I'm having digestion issues. But now I'm realizing it's every time after I have cheese, but you may not have realized that because they were 5-6 days apart and you're just going through your emotions, right? So take that knowledge that there with health, fitness, and keeping on track and keeping things on schedule, and then apply it here and say, okay, so if I'm journaling my food over here of what's going in my mouth, maybe I need to journal over here a little moon journal, right? Like maybe I have a little section where I just write, hey, I did my moon water. It was a new moon today. This is what my affirmation was going into it. This is how I felt. And then the next morning when I drank it, these are the things I said. These were my intentions, and boom. And you just kind of start there, right? And then maybe the next month, you're like, hey, I got a crystal. So this time in my water, I had a crystal sitting beside it, and I noticed a difference when I was drinking it, or maybe I didn't notice a difference. Journaling is so important, you guys. Like it's going to help you see patterns that you would have never realized unless you had wrote them down. Go ahead, Christen. I think you want to say more? Go for it.
So, and that's the thing. So like literally it was actually really interesting. So my birthday's on Friday, and I'm going to be 30, and my sister we were talking about, she actually has one of my journals from when I was in active addiction. And it's a specific moon journal. And it was just like, even me being in active addiction, trying to like get clean on my own, and seeing what that journal said and where it was at and what I was doing, and literally the same doing and channeling the same type of intentions and energy then, now, and the way that they benefit me and benefit my daughter is just absolutely different. And by the way, you're welcome, because in like 3 months, you guys are going to have crystals and be like out on your back patios with moon water. So one of the other things that I like to tell people too about channeling the moon energy and water is tree of life. So it was actually really interesting that we were doing this today. My sister actually, I don't know if you guys can see this, my sister actually wire wrapped that, and it's a tree of life. She sent it to me for my birthday. I got it yesterday, and then it has aventurine in it, which is for new beginnings and a new start. And I just channeled that new moon energy, but because of the way that I've really started to work on my beach body and stuff like that, she wanted to send that to me. As it's not necessarily a good luck, it's also partially like a good luck charm, but it opens up, it's supposed to push out the old to open up space for the new. And so it's the tree of life. It gives you branches and roots, you.
Dude, so I love that.
I'm gonna work on grounding real bad.
Just so you know, she's like super proud of you too. I just want to let you know that. Like, so I got to meet with Kristen's sister this past week. She is going to help me do like a logo for Warrior Women and kind of set up some like website and stuff like that. So she's going to help me a little bit behind the scenes. But I got to chat with her, and like, she's such a sweetheart. Like, and I literally was like, why aren't you on our team? And she just kind of laughed, and I was like, for real though, like, why aren't you on our team? Like, she would fit in just like so perfectly, and she's such a sweetheart, and you can just tell she just has like a beautiful soul to her. And we talked about you for just like, a little bit. I mean, obviously you came up in conversation, and like, she just seriously was like, you could just tell she was so proud of you. It was really cool to see. And she was like, just to see you come out of addiction and then, take your life to Florida, and then finding all of this and really working on yourself and going for something. I think she was just like really inspired by it. So just so you know, that conversation when you were asking the other day of like, how do you get your people on board, and like, you're doing it. Like, it may take longer for them to like really come on board, but I could tell she was inspired by what you had going on. And so be patient with her. She may come, and I'll work on it too with you. I'll keep fishing for her. She's a sweetheart though. Joel would be like, Alicia, I can see Joel being like, what is happening now? Like, what is happening? He'll be like, what is that? You'd be like, that's my moon water. You got all your crystals around it. And he's like, you're cut off from the Warrior Women.
Disturb her. She's going to freak out on you. It's important. Like leave mom on the patio.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm actually like, I kind of was picturing myself like doing it, and I was like, oh, that'd be really cool if like we really could do like a group moon water, and like everybody takes a picture, and I could make a collage of like all of our moon waters like sitting out in the water, and like, and then even when you said something about like pool water, I was like, ooh, does that mean like my water in my pool gets like recharged, and I should like go take a dip like every morning or something, like before the sun hits it, and just be like, moon water.
Or literally get a big spray bottle from the Dollar Tree and fill it up with that and whatever essential oil you want, and spray your body down and recharge every morning or after a workout. I mean, really, for whatever.
I need to do this. I love it. It's fun. It's fun to
do. In my fridge of lavender moon water that I put lemons and limes and green tea in, literally, and I will pull it out throughout the day. Like if Annie's having a hard time, boom, give it to her. Give it to me. I save some for you, Jenny. I'll give it to you on Saturday.
I love that. I'm excited. I've got lots of work to do, and you got lots of ordering to do. That's what I feel like. I need to like order like some crystals. I need to order some like herbs and all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm excited.
So
go ahead, Sue.
Sorry. No, I was just thinking, the kids are quiet at this moment, so I'm like, ooh, I gotta put my word in. So I was just thinking like rainwater, gather rainwater, because I'm a diffuser with my oils. So I'm thinking like gather the rainwater, and then diffuse it with my oils and my diffuser. Boom.
Yep, save it because it's natural environment. My favorite thing to collect is if I'm having a really hard time is stormwater, because it's strong. It's charged. It's electrically charged stormwater. So if you need a really good, you're really low or you're going through something, charge the storm water. Feel the strength from it, but you have to channel it properly. If you don't actually think about it, it will hurt you in a negative way. So pay attention to how you're doing it. Mean what you say, and say what you mean when you put it in the diffuser. Just saying that.
I like that. And it's so interesting, like you guys, even just when we think of like the things we tell ourselves are so powerful, right? So just imagine that as the things you're telling that water are so powerful. Like you have to believe what you're doing. Like you said, like you have to hold it and say your affirmations and believe that it's there to help you, right? It's not there to hurt you.
What you feel, and you don't even have to say it out loud, what you're feeling needs to be channeled through your fingertips. It needs to be channeled through your fingertips. It's just like prayer. It's truly just like prayer. You want You want to feel it it's like when you pray and you cry, real life. You get that emotional about it. That's how you want your moon water to be charged, with that much emotion, because then it means more to you. So whether the moon is charging it or not, which it will, but no matter what, when you drink it, it's going to have true emotion for you.
Woo, how fun. I wish it was nighttime so we could just try this. Somebody remind me at the team meeting tonight that, like, don't forget to go do your moon water.
I can keep track of moon cycles too. If you want me to post daily in the group about what cycle we're in and intentions for the moon, I can literally start posting that at least on like a daily or weekly basis, or like I can even make a calendar and a chart and post it monthly.
I would dig that. For
Yes,
sure.
please. Yeah. I think that's my thing, is it's another thing to keep track of, which is tricky. But I think maybe if we had you like cueing us a little bit of saying, hey guys, we're coming up on a new moon on Wednesday, you know, get your jars ready Tuesday night, or, you know, whatever. And like maybe just a little bit of guidance. I think that's where we as in me fall short a lot of times, of just like, oh shoot, it was a new moon 2 days ago, dang it, I missed it, you know. And like that's where I would think it like a little cueing and helping would be great.
I'll help you guys pay attention to that. Also, if you guys are doing it on your own, pay attention to when it says the full moon's on the 19th. That means your water needs to be out on the 18th, not the 19th. That moon will rise while you're sleeping, and it's changing day. So that is also really important to remember too, because otherwise you've kind of missed it.
You're getting like the end of the new moon then, really. Like you're getting basically almost already going into the next little phase.
It's not even the end of it. You're getting a full different phase.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. But now if you wanted to channel the sun of after a new moon, you would do like, so if it was on the 19th, you would do the day of the 19th, right? Oof, interesting. Yeah, I think some cueing and maybe like a little calendar, or like even just like a little notification, like some way if we can just get like a notification, or just, I think if you are always, it'll help you stay on track too. That's the cool thing. That's what I love about you guys, like this group or like whatever, is like anytime somebody asks me to keep them on point, it makes me stay on point, right? Or anytime I sign somebody up for a workout program, I'm like, oh, well, I better be there for them. I better show up. I gotta, you know, rise to the occasion. And so this is just a moment for Christen to just rise to the occasion and say, this is something I already do, but now maybe I can even take it to the next level, because now I'm providing help for other people. And so maybe you'll be out there searching even extra information, extra stuff to maybe share with us, which then is only going to help you understand something you already do even more.
Yeah, so I guess what I'll do is I'll post phase of moon at least weekly around, like, this is the span from this time to this time, phase of moon weekly, and then I'll put oils you would want to diffuse during time, crystals that are good for potential, and then based on, I guess I'll try to do based on chakra, so I can look at some Elicus pages and help kind of mash that together.
Yeah, did you guys all do your little chakra test yesterday? Did anybody see mine? Oh my god, I am like overactive on like 4 of my chakras. I have a 0% root chakra, and then I was open on 2 of my throat and my heart are open. So apparently I'm good at expressing my heart. Basically, I'm very good at talking, and I have a very open heart. But so what I was talking to Mike about it last night is that since my root chakra is at a 0, but my third eye and my crown were like at 96 or 94 or something like that. So basically in my mind, what I'm thinking is that since I don't have the grounding I need, I don't have the stability that I need in my life, my brain is overactive, right? So I can constantly think, so since I don't feel stable down here, my brain is like, oh my God, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? If this happens, well, then this happens. And it's an imagination, because your third eye is all about your imagination and it runs wild. And basically I have such an overactive imagination because my root chakra is at 0. I have no stability. I have no grounding. I have no security and sure. And I think that's because we just went through a move and we're kind of in a new city, and it can make sense, right? Like why my root chakra would be a little off, because I don't have stability right now. We did just move. We are trying to get our grounding and get our feet kind of rooted and planted and make sure that this is where we want to stay. And so what's happening is my brain is overactive because it's like, you know, I got to figure it out. I got to, what if this happens? What if this happens? Well, if this happens, then we can do this and this and that. And so that's kind of where I was really starting to analyze those, you know, emotions in myself and really trying to reference those chakra sheets. And I thought what really helped me the most was that little section where like I had what an overactive would be and what an underactive would be. That's like I was like looking at those specific emotions and really started to understand what's going on in me. And now that I know my stability is off, which is why my brain is overworking, it makes sense why I would have overactive and underactive. Yes, sir. Oh, I know. So,
Don't tell them.
oh, well, how am I supposed to tell them about it if you won't let me tell them about it?
And they're just gonna.
No, they don't need to look at it. So Derek watched the movie. It's a kids movie. You guys seen that? It's on Netflix. It's a little darker than like most cartoons, but it's an animated movie, but it's like about these like little dolls. Have you guys ever seen like robots? It's kind of like robots, but it's like these little dolls that like are like in this war and they're like trying to survive, and there's like 9 of them. It's called 9, but it's a really cute movie, and Derek watched it for the first time, and well, we can't really show him, but you know what, we told him about it, and most of them have kids, so now maybe they can go watch it with their kids.
Yeah. So I watched it yesterday and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love it.
You love it. You're funny. Okay, so I'm popping over here. I'm seeing Christy, maybe a group full moon meditation sometime, like literally makes my heart smile so big. I love that idea. We could do like a little night meditation. I'm totally down for that. So let's maybe kind of see if we can plan something, maybe either for the full moon, I believe is on August 3rd. And then the new moon in August is like, I think it's the 17th or the 19th. What would that be? Like, I can't remember, but it's somewhere right in there. So maybe we could do something for the full moon, like the 1st of August. Or we could do something a little bit later, or we could try both. We could try multiple things. We could keep trying it, or maybe just kind of get it in our schedule somewhere. But I think it could definitely be fun to start getting more into, you know, why not? And if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, and that's totally fine. Don't worry, we won't spend every single warrior hour talking about moon energy and things like that. But I think that it is, it's fun to learn, right? It's fun to learn about ourselves, because now that you know maybe where your chakras are and your energy is channeling, now maybe when you listen to your personal development or your Les Brown, you may view it differently, right? You may hear it differently. And so it can just be totally different. It can maybe just change the way you're learning, because now you're learning based off of who you know you are, or who you know you are right now, and what you're trying to work on and what you're trying to channel better into your life. So it's just different understandings of yourself. Oh, I'm excited for Tennille. She jumped off, but I'm excited for her to start virtual learning today. Also, you guys, if you could I gave her a little shout out today. She had kind of like a rough day yesterday, trying to get life in order for virtual learning, and she was having trouble with like her internet and her phone and like all this stuff. And I know, you guys, there is nothing worse than running an online business and not being able to get online. It is, I've had this before. Oh my gosh, like when you feel like you just can't be present, when you've just been present every single day, all day, like it is very frustrating. I broke my phone before to where I couldn't get on my phone. It was before I had a computer. So like I literally just had to like sit and be silent. Or I remember the time where like Instagram was down, and so I couldn't upload any stories. I couldn't post anything, but like we could still chat. I could still do my chat, but like I know where she was at yesterday. And so I took a little bit of time this morning to give her a little shout out post just to remind her that like, hey, just because you took one day and it was kind of a mess, like, just so you know, we still all absolutely love you. Your team is still killing it. You're still rocking and rolling just because you were off for one day. Okay. So maybe just give her a little extra love, maybe talking to her stories and just like give her a little love or comment or something, you know. We got to recognize, I think sometimes too, where we're all at, right? We get so wrapped up in our own lives that I just always take a moment on Thursday, no matter what, to like reach out to somebody else. Or I always take a Thursday just because I know we get paid on Thursdays, and things register on Thursdays in Beachbody, like whether you register as Diamond or Emerald or something like that. That always is the cycle on Thursdays. So that's why I always do like team shout outs on Thursdays or Success Club posts on Thursdays, because all of that's registered. And so I don't know, I just think Thursday is a fun day to kind of shout out people. So just something that, if you guys notice I do that or not, but that's my go-to on Thursdays. It's like pump out as much love as I can. That's always my go-to. So if you get a chance, hop over there to her. And I think it's just important for us to recognize where the other girls are on the team too, right? Like there's times where I've been like, Tessa, why have you been so quiet? And like, I'll message her and I'm like, why have you been so quiet? And she'd be like, oh, I'm just going through some shit. I'm like, I know, because you're silent. Where you been? Like, you have, like, we recognize each other's emotions or cues, or just recognizing each other's lives. Like, and I think this all has to do with that, right? Like, maybe I recognize the energy that you guys are putting out, or it's like sometimes you'll see couple girls and they'll be like so on point, right? You're like, damn, she's killing it lately. Like she's like pumping out content. She looks amazing. Like she's smiling. It's like really authentic. Like take that time to recognize other people on the team when they're in their highs or their lows, right? Like we need to be able to be there and pull them up, and we need to be able to celebrate them when they need it as well. Okay, so just taking that little bit of time sometimes to step away from my own business, you know, or posting my own selfies and saying, you know what, today it's time to shout out this person. And also, I always like to showcase the team, right? Of course, my social media is about me, but I've got, like, I wouldn't be here without all of this under here. And so I always like to try to showcase like everything that's happening. And sometimes I feel like I can't even showcase it fast enough, right? Like I'm like, oh my God, I want to shout out so-and-so. And oh my God, look at so-and-so's transformation. And I'm like, holy shit, look at her. And like, as the team grows, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on, right? Like we have Alex, she's in a test group. And then Molly just got in a test group. We have people earning free trips, free tickets to Summit, transformations like freaking crazy. And I'm just like, holy crap, this is so awesome to see it happening for our team, you know? And so I think sometimes the more we just celebrate each other too, that brings a wholeness to us. And maybe even when you're channeling your moon energy, maybe your moon energy is for the team, right? You're saying like, you know, I just hope that our team is safe and warm, and maybe you channel it. Maybe you don't necessarily feel like you need it for you today, right? Like you're like, I'm doing this for so-and-so. I know she's been really having a hard time, and I'm just hoping that maybe through this I can give myself strength, so maybe I can help her through whatever she's dealing with, you know. Find a way to make it work for you, and maybe that's through other people as well, right? Bringing other people in. Or maybe if you're family, maybe you're channeling this moon energy for your daughter or your son, or man, I'm going to cook with this tonight because I just feel like Mike and I have been really struggling with our energy lately, and I'm going to cook with this, and hopefully it'll bring us new energy and things like that. So think outside the box, get creative, be open to trying new things, and yeah, just be open to it. I think that's the best thing I could say. And it may feel silly at first, but I think once we get in a groove with it, it might actually be something that you crave, right? Think of like your workout. The first time we started working out, you know, after all of you guys can think back on that first program you did, on those first couple workouts or whatever, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. I hate this. Why am I doing this? And then there was that point where you're like, oh, I actually kind of pushed myself during that. Oh, wow. Look at my results. Holy crap. Are those abs coming in? And so then you're like, I really want this. I want to push myself harder. I need heavier weights. I need better outfits. I need better shoes. And you start to like get into it, right? Same thing. Same thing. In the beginning, you may be like, this is silly, or I don't know about this, or I just don't really know what I'm doing. But then maybe you do feel a lift. Maybe you do feel an energy shift. Maybe you do notice that your son or daughter is a little bit calmer when they have their full moon energy or their new moon or whatever. And so then you're like, ooh, what if I did get a crystal? Ooh, what if I did channel a blue crystal to kind of help with my throat energy, because I am going to be going to an interview and I just want to be speaking very clearly. Okay, I know I read the sheet. It may feel kind of wooey, but I'm going to try it. Right? And so there's going to be a point where you might get into it, right? And you might not. That's fine too. But again, that whole thing cannot happen unless you're just open to trying it. You just got to be willing to try. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't, no big deal, right? Drink your water anyway. Yes. We're going to do breakfast right now. Why don't you get some yogurt right now? Do you want yogurt? No.
Guess what?
What?
I bought a new character.
You bought a new character? That's awesome.
It's Venom.
Oh.
Remember the symbiote?
All right, ladies, it is 9:05. That hour flew by. I do have cards laid out here right now. So, well, how about the girls message me? Message me if you want your card pulled, and I will pull it and send you the little, like, paragraph on it as well. So I won't take up your guys more time here, but message me if you want your tarot card pulled. I will pull yours and send it to you. And tonight, don't forget, tonight is team call. Alicia will be taking the team call tonight. So she's going to talk to us, Alicia Weaver. And then, Alicia, you're like, did I agree to that? No. And then tomorrow morning we have that 6:30 a.m. workout. So be ready for that, and then we'll have a fantastic weekend, and we'll chill and spend time with your family, and then we'll come back Monday ready to rock and roll. Cool? Cool. All right, ladies. Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. Bye.
And thank you for sharing our movie.
Yes. You're funny.
Hey, Mom.